Hey guys, remember to like the video and hit subscribe.
European allies were supporting an innocent country that's been brutally invaded by another state, and for the minimal amount of investment, not only devastated that strategic enemy's military reserves, and actually they are now much weaker because of this attack on Ukraine, but did it at a very affordable price. There are much greater powers around this world, the rise of China, etc., that will also threaten the United States. Reagan said it best when he said, "You can have peace tomorrow. All you've got to do is surrender." And the big problem I've got with Trump at the moment and his administration is that he's.
Why does the bonger know what America should be doing more than any of these? I know he's gonna have the best position on this panel. Kill me, bro. Is he a bonger? Why is he quoting? He's quoting Reagan at these guys, and oh god, I already know this guy's gonna be unhinged. The Vinny guy from PBK. This lady is paid for by Putin. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe he'll be based, and I don't think I know who she is. Maybe she'll be based.
He's pursuing this goal of isolationism, of trashing relationships, long-standing relationships with allies such as Britain, France, Canada, Mexico, that will not only damage America's economy, but much more importantly, its soft power, its ability to exert its influence around the world, which is a major part of how they will counter the rise of countries like China. The big part of America, the future of America, is to show the world that liberty, democracy, freedom matter, and that the rise of China and the rise of Russia that wants to pollute the world with their autocracy and their evil can be countered by America's history and its solid foundation. So that is something that I think Trump needs to remember, because at the moment we're going down a very bad path.
Well, it's interesting you mentioned China. Hang on, Betty, hang on, I'm going to come to you. Betty, hang on. I want to read a quote from the Chinese embassy in Washington. Well, it's interesting you mentioned China. Hang on, Betty, hang on, I'm going to come to you. Betty, hang on.
Your problem's not with Donald Trump, it's with the American people. Okay.
Hang on, I want to read a quote from the Chinese embassy in Washington today, which posted on X, "If war is what the US wants, be it a tariff war, a trade war, or any other type of war, we're ready to fight till the end." So there, a lot of saber rattling coming from China there in relation to, as Mason just pointed out. In that context, does that make you rethink slightly the way that Trump should be playing this?
First of all, your problem is not with Trump, it's with the American people. 78% of Americans want this war negotiated and peace right now. So that your problem is that Donald Trump is reflecting the will of the people, which I grant you is very strange for an American president. You know, certainly wasn't at the top of Joe Biden's agenda, but it is at the top of Donald Trump's agenda. When 78% of my fellow Americans want something, they should freaking get it. And that is what we're seeing right now, is the victory of democracy. You vote for a person, he does what you ask. Pierce, to your question about Xi Jinping, it's a great question. You know, another autocrat dictator who somehow the Democrats have no problem making common cause with and capitulating to all the time. Guess who would be a really good ally in a fight against China?
It's, how much money does she get paid? I just want to know how much she gets paid. She's going to say Vladimir Putin, Russia. I want to know how much she gets paid. I just want to know how much she gets paid. I'm just curious. Is it as much as Tim Pool got paid? Is still getting paid? Almost certainly.
That used to be the Democrats' position. That was Barack Obama's position in 2012. And when Mitt Romney told him that Russia is the greatest geopolitical threat to the United States, Obama laughed in his face and said the 1980s called, they want their foreign policy back. We have actual enemies. And
hold up.
The Democrats' position. That was Barack Obama's position in 2012. And when Mitt Romney told him that Russia is the greatest geopolitical threat to the United States, Obama laughed in his face and said the 1980s called, they want their foreign policy back.
If I remember parts of this conversation, this was not Obama saying that we should be friendly to Russia. It was that Russia's economy and overall might was so small that they were meaningless to the United States in that manner, which to some extent is true, right? Now, they can still represent a threat to Europe, sure. But is she trying to present that as though Obama saying like, oh no, look, even the Democrats know we need to be friendly to Russia? Was that the way that she was angling that statement to mean, or?
We have actual enemies, and Russia is not one of them. That doesn't mean I approve of what they did to Ukraine. I do not. It does mean we have limited resources, and we should be spending them where they matter. Donald Trump is not an isolationist. He has no problem fighting American enemies. He is just being strategic about who those are and who is a potential ally.
Who's the enemy? Who's the ally? Say that. Who are the enemies and who are the allies?
Against people who are actually trying to destroy us, like China.
Okay, I want to give the final word on this part of the debate to Kira, because you and Mace will be leaving us, and we're going to continue with some American
where is that Instagram story? Oh no, I had it unstreamable. Base. What? Wait, I had this on a streamable, didn't I? It's not available anymore. How long do these things last? Oh, I bet I know why. But it's because I uploaded another one. Maybe. Wait, did I not upload it at all? Oh, I didn't need to because it's not like an adult.
I'm ruined. I have nothing left. Except Israel.
Israel just asked for another $10 billion, sir.
Tell him it's on the way.
True.
Related stuff after us, not to do with the war. So, Kira, just to sum up for me, it's obviously a crucial stage of this war. What do you hope will happen now in the next few weeks?
Pierce, I think we have been talking a lot about what would happen if the war ends or if Ukraine wins, and we have not been talking enough about what would happen if we lose. What would it mean to other enemies of the United States? Would it mean that Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran...
Is that how United States foreign policy is going to be dictated? What if we lose? What if we lose to China? Or I'm sorry, what if we lose to Russia while supporting Ukraine? Or did I misunderstand her? Wait, also here's context for this.
Governor Romney, I'm glad that you recognize that al-Qaeda is a threat. Because a few months ago, when you were asked what's the biggest geopolitical threat facing America, you said Russia. Not al-Qaeda, you said Russia. In the 1980s are now calling to ask for their foreign policy back because the Cold War has been over for 20 years. But, Governor, when it comes to our foreign policy, you seem to want to import the foreign policies of the 1980s, just like the social policies of the 1950s and the economic policies of the 1920s. You say that you're not interested in duplicating what happened in Iraq, but just a few weeks ago you said you think we should have more troops in Iraq right now. And the challenge we have, I know you haven't been in a position to actually execute foreign policy, but every time you've offered an opinion, you've been wrong. You said we should have gone into Iraq, despite the fact that there were no weapons of mass destruction. You said that we should still have troops in Iraq to this day. You indicated that we shouldn't be passing nuclear treaties with Russia, despite the fact that 71 senators, Democrats and Republicans, voted for it. You said that first we should not have a timeline in Afghanistan, then you said we should.
Like the U.S. foreign policy focus at this point was shit going on in Iraq, obviously, right? The situation in Iraq around 2012. I don't know if it was deteriorating at this point, but a year or two from now, ISIS would start to come into gaining massive power across Syria and Iraq. Obama was right. Like Russia was not the threat at this point in time, but none of this was about like allying with Russia more. Although we have wanted to have closer relationships with Russia, but also things have changed in 11 years as well, right? Like I don't know why you would even like call back to this.
Stop producing weapons and supplies and support other authoritarian regimes that will be raising their heads, creating much more threats everywhere in the world. We are talking about morals, we are talking about money, but we haven't heard any real answer to only one question that our nation, that wants peace most of the world, is how do you make sure that Putin would not attack us again? And there is no answer we didn't hear.
Oh, wait, I'm sorry. I think I misunderstood. When she said, what if we lose? She means what if Ukraine loses? That's what she's talking about. I'm so sorry. I understand.
It does mean we have limited resources and we should be spending them where they matter.
Right,
Donald Trump is not an
American
isolationist. He has no problem fighting American enemies. He is just being strategic about who those are and who is.
Somebody said, didn't Russia invade Crimea by this point? Russia invaded Crimea in 2014.
Governor Romney, I'm
This is a 2012 election debate. They would have invaded Georgia by now, I think, right?
Potential ally against people who are actually trying to destroy us, like China.
Okay, I want to give the final word on this part of the debate to Kira, because you and Mace will be leaving us, and we're going to continue with some American-related stuff afterwards, not to do with the war. So, Kira, just to sum up for me, it's obviously a crucial stage of this war. What do you hope will happen now in the next few weeks?
Piers, I think we have been talking a lot about what would happen if the war ends or if Ukraine wins, and we have not been talking enough about what would happen if we lose. What would it mean to other enemies of the United States? Would it mean that Russia, China, North Korea, and Iran stop producing weapons and supplies and support other authoritarian regimes that will be raising their heads, creating much more threats everywhere in the world? We are talking about morals, we are talking about money, but we haven't heard any real answer to only one question that our nation, that wants peace most of the world, is how do you make sure that Putin would not attack us again? And there is no answer. We didn't hear it from Donald Trump, from anyone here on this debate. Because
Vinny's loaded up. Oh, that blow's hitting right now. And he's like, he said they're going to put American factories there. They'll never attack with American factories. He's ready for it. He's ready for it.
He knows, because there are many hopes, but there is no actual way of doing that. And right now, the only way that worked for us was fighting Putin. Because we have been in this ceasefire deal with him since 2014. And I can tell you one thing. There was not a single day when Russia would honor this deal. And the world would look at that and say, yeah, sorry, it's so upsetting. So how this time will be different? And when we know the answer, then we can talk more about how to achieve that. But right now, we do not see even a strategy of how to make sure that right now, in a year, in 2 years, in 4 years, Russia would not attack us again with the whole strength. And not only us, but other European countries. And that is the key question.
I completely agree with you. I wouldn't trust Putin as far as I could throw him. He made it crystal clear when he attacked Crimea and took that.
Relevant meme with your conversation with a woman. Oh, God, I hate this person. She's the worst type of human being.
Wait,
you're okay with that?
I'm a leftist.
Wait, do you support Kamala Harris in this upcoming election?
I'm still making up my mind. Like, there are definitely things that could change.
You're supporting Donald Trump, 100%.
No, I haven't. I really am still.
There's no reasonable person that is undecided at this point. It's impossible. By the way, she publicly declared her support for Donald Trump. Pretty sure shortly thereafter, but.
And when he's attacked now again and taken 20% of mainland Ukraine, he will not stop. And anyone who thinks he will is living in cloud cuckoo land. Well, thank you to Mesa and to you, Kira, for joining us about that debate about Ukraine. We're going to let you two both go. Now we're going to move on to some other topics. Andrew Tate appeared on the PBD podcast this week talking about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, making it clear he and his brother are out of the country. They've gone straight to America. There have been calls from the UK. Andrew Tate appeared on the PBD podcast this week talking about Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, making it clear he and his brother Tristan aren't welcome in his state. Here's what Tate had to say in response.
Joe Biden was a doormat.
What is your response to what appeared to be a clear olive branch from President Trump to President Zelensky last night?
Hello, Pearson. Thank you so much for having me. Well, we were surprised to see what we have seen today when America stopped the intelligence provision to Ukraine after President Trump was so clearly saying that the relations are getting warmer, right? One has to wonder, was it all planned beforehand and just right now? And the question is, why is pressure being put on Ukraine and not on Russia? Who is the aggressor here? And how many people are being sentenced to death right now by this decision of pulling the intelligence, of pulling the aid?
Yeah, I mean, Rob Smith, first of all, thank you for your service. Obviously, you're a decorated Iraq veteran. I have great respect for that. What people seem a bit baffled by, me included, is that you can be putting pressure on Ukraine to come and do a peace deal for obvious reasons that make a lot of sense. I actually think that Trump's overview of where the war is completely accurate. I think he genuinely wants to forge peace here. What people have been taking...
You don't... By the way, I don't know if anybody knows this or not, but Ukraine is losing. You don't need to put pressure on Ukraine. They're losing the war. They're in the position where, you know, it's like, okay, well, you know, the pressure needs to be put on Russia to make concessions. That's where the pressure needs to be. What is this weird debate strategy where you have to ultra pressure the person who's on the losing end of the deal? What?
Backed by is that he's quite happy to call Zelensky a dictator and then withdraw that and keep attacking him and humiliating him in the Oval Office and so on, whilst maintaining a position of never appearing to criticize Vladimir Putin at all, despite the fact that it was Putin, of course, and his Russian forces who invaded 3 years ago.
True. Well, as a person who used to be in the military, get ready to get the worst political takes of all time, because it is a known law in the United States of America that if you go from military to political commentary, you are guaranteed to give the most brain-dead dog shit takes imaginable. Let's go. Let's go.
Despite the fact that it was Putin, of course, and his Russian forces who invaded 3 years ago.
Well, I will say this, first of all, thanks for having me, Piers. First of all, it's not probably a good choice to criticize and to be really hard on the person that has basically the upper hand between Ukraine and Russia, which is Putin, right? So that's first of all. And second of all, I tend to be really hard on the person. I will say this, first of all, thanks for having me, Piers. First of all, it's not probably a good choice to criticize and to be really hard on the person that has basically the upper hand between Ukraine and Russia, which is Putin, right? So
it's just like, it's because they all got this beamed into their head from the cricket Elon Musk micro chippers that are put in the back of their neck or whatever. They get like it's beamed in, and it's like, oh, okay. So two sides are negotiating a deal, and one side is like really, you know, low in this deal. They don't have very much leverage. So can you go in there and help them out? Yeah, let me go in there and help them out as a huge guy who's bigger than both the people involved. And I'm going to do that by shitting on the smaller guy. Oh, well, that's kind of weird. I feel like you would have went into those negotiations probably to like help the smaller guy because you're like a really big dude. So you could ensure like a more equitable, you know, arrangement to end things. I don't know why you're going to shit on the smaller dude because he's already a smaller dude. It doesn't really make much sense, but okay.
So that's first of all. And second of all, I think that what people need to understand is that the people that were quote unquote taken aback by Trump's behavior towards Zelensky, by Trump's behavior towards the Ukraine, seem to be political commentators, seem to be people that were in support of just never ending this war, okay? I am somebody that voted for Trump and I voted for this. I voted for strong leadership. I voted for somebody to hold Zelensky accountable. I voted for somebody to stop this endless sea of...
Will he say a single negative thing about Putin? Hold Zelensky accountable. Let's wait for it. Here we go.
American taxpayer dollars that have been going to Ukraine for the past 3 years to the tune of hundreds of billions of dollars. The only people that are surprised by this behavior are the people that have become used to weak leadership in this country. The people who have become used to somebody like former President Biden, and a lot of the people that were advising him being run all over by Zelensky, by the people of Ukraine, by the people that supported this nonstop funding of American tax dollars to this country. President Trump has said very strongly and has sent very strong signals through his words and through his actions that not only does he want this war to end, but that we will not continue to send endless amounts of American taxpayer dollars to this country.
Okay, before I go
nothing. Strange. Huh. Weird.
To Mesa to respond, though, do you, Rob Smith, think Vladimir Putin's a dictator?
Oh, okay. We're back. Hold on. Whoo, direct. Even Piers was like, okay, I can only do so much Kremlin propaganda on this show, right? Hold on. Get my magnifier here. Okay. Let's go. Good luck.
I do, personally, yes.
Oh, he did it. He said a mean thing about Putin. Good job. A+. It just took a directly confrontational question about being a dictator. There you go. He should have asked, is he responsible for the invasion of Ukraine next? But we'll see. But.
Okay. Well, I think that's an important thing to say. I think that lost in all this is the fact that obviously Putin is a dictator.
Oh, but he's like, wait a second. Am I going to get in trouble for just saying a mean thing about Putin without either qualifying it by saying a nice thing about Putin as well, or qualifying it by saying Zelensky or the United States is just as bad? He's like, do I need to interject there? The Starlink connection is a little delayed right now, but he might be getting a signal. Hold on.
And Piers, can I just make it? Yeah. I just want to make it clear that number one, I do think that Putin is a dictator. I do think that Russia is very aggressive. I do not agree with a lot of this. I am in no way on the side of Russia at all. I know that that's a talking point, and I'm not saying you did this, Piers, but I know that a lot of Democrats that want this forever aid to go to Ukraine like to say that anybody that is critical of nonstop U.S. taxpayer dollars going to Ukraine is.
No, I get that, and I don't disagree with Trump on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I think the war is.
Okay, jeez, just don't be mean to Putin without also you got to bring in Ukraine or something. Jesus.
Is that a terrible virtual stalemate where for 8-9 months now, all that's happened is both sides killing vast numbers of the other side in rolling open flat fields? And this is reminiscent of World War I to many military eyes. Let me bring in Mesa Gifford. You're a British veteran and you've been in the Ukrainian army as well. What do you say to Rob Smith, also a fellow veteran who has a strong view in the way he's articulated? What's your response to that?
I want to push more on the historical. This is reminiscent of World War I. So should the West have given up? Because, like, you know that we won that war, right? You know that trench warfare happened in World War I, but that, like, Germany and the Ottoman Empire, these guys still lost, right? You know that, right? Like, I want to hear them follow through a little bit more with the historical implications. Okay, you're bringing up that this is trench warfare like World War I. Oh, wow, okay, so should we not have done that warfare at all then? Should we have just given up as soon as it happened? Like, what do you mean when you make that comparison?
Well, I'd say that America needs to start looking to its values. It needs to start remembering who the victim is here in this conflict.
True.
Russia brutally invaded a European sovereign nation on the edge of Europe, a democracy, a country that ranks far higher on the freedom indexes than Russia, and they are brutalizing this beautiful country. I was on the front line, particularly in the south and around Kherson. I fought with the 131st Separate Reconnaissance Battalion, and I saw with my own eyes the extraordinary bravery of the Ukrainian people who are fighting not only for their homes, but for their lives against a...
Wait, who is this guy? We like him, whoever he is. British veteran of the Ukrainian army, Mesa Gifford? Is that who it is? I think so.
Regime that is determined to take all of Ukraine. And then the big problem we've got here is Donald Trump he's come in to the White House with a sledgehammer, and he is absolutely trashing a political system, a world system that America has benefited from and actually built itself after the Second World War. We are entering a very dangerous phase of international relations, and I truly hope Donald Trump sees sense and starts to remember exactly the foundational values that America was built on.
Piers Morgan Uncensored is now proudly independent. If you like the show, we ask for only one thing. Subscribe on YouTube and follow Piers Morgan Uncensored on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Now let's get straight to the point. Support for today's show comes from a business focused on a critical issue. Prosperity. US national debt is at crisis levels. Inflation has made life more expensive for everybody, and the stock market is precarious.
Please. All of my investments are getting fucked. Everything is getting ruined. I need you to recommend me the one thing that is holding strong is gold. You know what? It actually is doing okay. Better than the markets. Go back a year. You know what? Actually, sell me some fucking gold. Sell me some gold. I'm ready for it, actually. It's
enough to make anyone's financial future feel grim. So what is the solution? Well, a simple one is to opt out of the chaos and invest in something solid and reliable. Physical, gold, and silver. Yes. There's only one thing we need to remember: American Hartford Gold. This company has earned the trust of thousands of customers with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau and glowing reviews you can see for yourself. They offer an incredible range of gold and silver bars and coins. They can be delivered directly to your door, or they'll help you set them up in a tax-advantaged gold IRA. First-class customer service makes the whole process simple, secure, and straightforward. American Hartford Gold is committed to getting the truth out there and giving you peace of mind in uncertainty.
They'll ship you the bullion. I want the bars. I want the bars.
And if that wasn't enough, you'll get up to $15,000 worth of free silver when you make your first purchase and mention my name, Piers. So make the smart move. Call 866-692-2474 or text Piers, that's P-I-E-R-S, to 65532. That's 866-692-2474 or text Piers to 65532.
Yes.
All the details are in the description. Now on with the show. Okay, Vinny, let me bring
what
you
I'd
in
like to say
here.
as an American is that we certainly don't need any lectures from people that have been taking hundreds of billions of dollars of our taxpayer dollars like welfare queens, telling us that we need to take a look at what our values are. That is
welfare queen. Man, we're really hitting. Where did that welfare queens talking point come from? This would be good Twitter analysis. That was a talking point that was beamed into all of the NPC heads. The programming changed. This is probably why the Nvidia stock was worth so much. I think these people all got implanted with whatever the communication system is that beams in. That welfare queen talking point it's a big one now.
Okay, Vinny, let me bring
what
you
I'd like to say
in
as an American is that we certainly don't need any lectures from people that have been taking hundreds of billions of dollars of our taxpayer dollars like welfare queens, telling us that we need to take a look at what our values are. That is one thing that America does not need.
British.
And
I also, this guy's British as well. I don't know if you could tell by the way he was speaking. To be fair, I mixed him up with Australian, so but neither of those are Ukrainian. Also, way to not respond at all to what was said and to just like pivot with some feigned moral outrage. Good job.
I appreciate the fact that we have it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. What we don't need is we don't need other people lecturing us about what our values are. That's the first thing that we don't need. Thank you.
$300 billion of money has been given over to Ukraine, when in reality,
don't need lectures from you. And also don't need lectures
Don't talk over each other. All right, don't talk over each other. You made your point, Rob. Let's make the response.
Because the trouble is, we get a lot of sort of self-righteousness. We're getting a lot of ignorance.
Thank you. True. Yeah. Feigned outrage. Feigned moral outrage. Self-righteousness. True.
Actually, from the Trump sort of administration at the moment. We've got to get a grip on reality. The reality is the US has not given $300 billion that Donald Trump has claimed. It's given something much more close to sort of $119 billion. Europe as a whole.
Yeah, why did you lie? Why did you lie about that? Why did you lie about that? You retard? You retarded dipshit? I wonder why you lied about that.
Has given far more, actually not far more, but more than the United States in regards to aid.
Yeah, I was going to be, what? They have the NPCs also have like programmed like facial expressions. They were demoing this chip a long time ago. It was like the Neuralink version 0.7 or whatever. There was a time when it famously short-circuited in the middle of a debate when Trump was, or was this one? No, wait, what happened to the internet? No, was it this? Oh, it was this. It wasn't during a debate. My bad. Jesus, the f is this? No, it's not. Whatever, close enough. Is it the first one? His face looks too normal here. No, it is this one. The first known example of the facial expression chip going live. This guy shipped it to production on Friday, and then he got fired and started working for CrowdStrike. This guy got the same programming though, but it's been refined now, so it's not as extreme.
Europe as a whole has given far more, actually not far more, but more than the United States in regards to aid to Ukraine. So the first thing we've got to do is we've got to start busting some myths, and we actually need to start spitting some facts. Another big problem that we've got, and that I think is absolutely reprehensible.
Can we get a fact check? Can we get a fact check on this fact that's literally not debated by any credible person on the entire planet? And then so now we have to waste time debating this fact that's not really debated. No, it's not debatable. There is no source for this claim other than literally Donald Trump.